Welcome to Easy English with Alan. Today we have a long, shocking, and emotional story to help you practice simple English. My name is Noah. I am 21 years old. I live in a quiet town called Riverdale. It is a peaceful place with small streets, many trees, and friendly people. I am a university student. I study business management. My dream is to start my own company one day. I live with my mother, Anna. My father died when I was very young, so my mother raised me alone. She worked very hard every day to give me a good life. My mother is a very kind woman. She works in a small bakery in our town. Every morning she wakes up early and prepares bread and cakes for customers. I respect her very much because she always taught me one important lesson. Always tell the truth, even when it is difficult. At the university, I had a close friend named Lucas. Lucas and I met in our first year of university. We sat next to each other in class and soon became good friends. He was funny and confident. Many people liked him. We studied together, ate lunch together, and sometimes played football in the evening. I trusted him like a brother. But slowly, something about Lucas began to change. At first, it was small things. Sometimes he copied homework from other students. Sometimes he lied to teachers about assignments. When I noticed this, I said to him, "Lucas, this is not a good idea. You should do your own work." But he just laughed and said, "Relax, Noah. Everyone does this." I did not feel comfortable, but I stayed quiet. One semester we had a very important final exam. This exam was very difficult and very important for our grades. Many students were nervous. A few days before the exam, Lucas came to me with a strange smile. He said quietly, "Noah, I have good news." I asked, "What do you mean?" He looked around and whispered, "I have the exam questions." I felt shocked. "How is that possible?" I asked. He said, "I know someone who works in the university office. They showed me the questions." Then he opened his phone and showed me pictures of exam papers. My heart started beating fast. "This is cheating," I said. Lucas shrugged and said, "Think about it, Noah. We can easily pass the exam." I shook my head. "No, I will not cheat." Lucas looked annoyed. "You are too serious," he said. The next day the exam started. The classroom was very quiet. Students were focused on their papers. After a few minutes, I noticed something strange. Lucas kept looking at his phone under the desk. Then I realized something. He was using the exam answers. I felt very uncomfortable, but I said nothing. I finished my exam and left the room. A week later, something unexpected happened. The university announced an investigation. Someone had leaked the exam questions. The teachers were very angry. Soon rumors started spreading around the campus. Students were whispering and discussing the situation. Then, one day, the professor called me to his office. Inside the office were two teachers and the dean. The dean looked serious and said, "Noah, we need to ask you some questions." My heart started beating faster. Then the professor said something that shocked me. "Lucas told us that you had the exam questions." I felt like the ground disappeared under my feet. "What? That is not true," I said. But the professor continued. "He said you showed him the answers." I felt angry and hurt. Lucas was blaming me. That evening I tried to call Lucas many times. Finally he answered. "Lucas, why did you lie?" I asked. He sounded nervous. "Listen, Noah," he said. "The teachers were asking questions. I had to say something. So you blamed me, I said. He replied quietly, I thought they would not believe it. I felt very disappointed. You were my friend, I said. But he just hung up the phone. Soon many students started looking at me differently. Some people whispered when I walked past them. Some students avoided me. I felt alone and confused. Even my professor looked disappointed. At night, I could not sleep. I kept thinking about my mother's words. Always tell the truth. Finally, I made a decision. I would prove the truth. The next morning, I went to the university office. I asked to speak with the dean. When I entered the office, I said calmly, I did not cheat in the exam, but I know who did. Then I explained everything. I told them about Lucas showing me the exam questions. I told them about the phone pictures. The dean listened carefully. Then he said, Do you have any proof? I remembered something. Lucas had sent me a message a few days before the exam. In the message he wrote, Look at these questions. We will pass easily. I opened my phone and showed the message. The teachers looked at each other. This is important evidence, the dean said. A few days later, the university finished their investigation. They discovered that Lucas had received the exam questions from a worker in the office. He had also shared them with a few students. Lucas was called to the dean's office. This time he could not lie. The messages and photos proved the truth. The university decided that Lucas would fail the exam and receive a serious warning. The worker who leaked the exam questions also lost his job. Later that evening, Lucas came to see me. He looked tired and ashamed. He said quietly, Noah, I am sorry. I should not have blamed you. I looked at him and said, You broke my trust. He nodded sadly. I know, he said. I made a terrible mistake. I did not shout at him, but I told him something important. A real friend does not lie to save himself. Lucas lowered his head. I understand now, he said. Life slowly returned to normal. Many students later learned the truth. They realized that I had been honest. Some of them came to apologize for doubting me. When I told my mother the story, she smiled gently. She said, You did the right thing. The truth is always stronger than lies. If you liked this story, subscribe to this channel for more stories like this.